May 2020. You just taken a furlough and you came back from furlough during the pandemic and you had a record-setting month. And then you went on to have a record-setting year, pacing the entire company. Tell us about it.
Man, that was a very, very great year. You know, it's also a year that changed my life. That was the year that I realized that, you know, I can really take time off, enjoy my family, and also dominate at work. That time I spent, during that month with my family, you know, spending more time with my girls, watching them grow, really taking time to learn what they're into, and just, spending that quality time with them. I mean, it was everything to me. You know, spending more time with my wife. I believe the pandemic actually brought me and my family, 10 times closer. So, I mean, that was just something that was just great for me. It was a great feeling. I'm glad I actually went through it. So when I came back to work from that time, I mean, I was ready to go. I was pumped up. I was recharged. My focus was on 10. So I knew, I was like, I've taken all this time off. Now it's time to, go in and actually put this to work. So, I mean, I went in, I was laser focused, and I mean, I dominated. At times, it was just like, I feel like people were just coming in and was just ready to sign up, but I was just so far in the zone.
Join Charlie Maloof as he explores the personal journeys of Broad River Retail's very own memory makers. Welcome to Stories from the River.
Hey, we're here with Jamar Wray. Jamar is a home furnishings expert, sales manager, and a 5-time $1 million memory maker. Jamar, welcome to Stories from the River.
Glad to be here.
I'm excited to have this conversation. You ready to go?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. Okay, so pre-Broad River, you actually worked in a Broad River store or multiple stores. So you've got a unique story in that you worked in our stores for 5 years before you worked for our company. Tell us about your time in our stores with AcceptanceNOW.
Wow. I mean, so it's actually a funny story. So before actually going to AcceptanceNOW, I was working for UPS. So what actually got me into furniture, my wife worked for a furniture store called Colfax Furniture in Greensboro. So I was looking for a new job. So she actually got me into furniture. So that's how I began working for AcceptanceNOW. And I worked there as a CSR. So I actually started from the bottom. And then I got promoted to sales manager. And at the time, we were in Greensboro. We moved down to Gastonia. My daughter was about to be born. So I was actually in the Gastonia Ashley. So I was there for a couple of years, and then I got promoted to another store, which was the university location. So when I got to the university location, I met Rick Rush and Michael Childers. I mean, with AcceptanceNOW, I just wanted to be the best I could be. So I actually dominated with AcceptanceNOW, and it was a day where Rick came over. He was like, hey, you ever thought about, selling? And I was like, no, that's 100% commission. Can't go there. So, I talked to those guys, and before you knew it, I was coming over to Ashley.
Wow. So, Mike and Rick, Michael's talked about like wanting an all-star weekend and working with you in the early days at the U. And so you transitioned from AcceptanceNOW. Was it an amicable transition?
No, I mean, it was, I came to a point to where, like I say, my daughter was coming. So I knew I was going to have to make a change. I was afraid. And at the time I was actually a DM in training for AcceptanceNOW, but they wanted me to cut my hair in order to take the position. So I was talking with Rick, I was talking with Michael, and then on down the line, Steve Hosky actually came into position there, and it was just time. So I was like, I spoke with Steve and I spoke with Christian Adams at the time, and I was like, listen, if you guys give me the opportunity to come over, I'm not coming to be an average writer, I want to be a top writer. And that was the conversation. And then from that point on, man, it's been awesome.
Well, I'm glad they asked you to cut your hair. You ended up cutting your hair anyways.
Ended up cutting it on my own.
I love it. Okay, so now how long have you officially been with Broad River Retail?
Now I'm going into my 6th year.
6th year, okay. And you work in our Greenville, South Carolina store. This is so interesting. The Dreamville Drive. How long have you been working in that store?
I've been at that store since, about 5 years.
But you don't live in Greenville. You live in Gastonia, North Carolina. And we have a store in Gastonia. Why do you choose to make the daily commute to go work in Greenville, South Carolina?
So that was the first store I was promoted to sales manager in. So I mean, each year I just feel like I got something to prove, and I feel like I got unfinished business. So yeah, it's a long drive, but each day that I go in, I have time to think about what I'm gonna do when I get there. So I take that time to actually, to hype myself up when I'm on the way, and I take that time to throttle down on my way home.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow. And so at one point, though, you considered moving from the sales floor into retail management with us. And can you take us through your process there and why ultimately you decided to stay the course, and continue thriving on the sales floor, and now you're an expert and sales manager, et cetera. So why did you not go into retail management and stay in the current path that you were going?
So like I say, when it comes to furniture, I never thought that I'd be selling furniture. So now I got something that I'm really good at doing, and I love doing it. So it's like, do I really want to go into a RPM or a GM position, or do I have unfinished business on the sales floor? I felt like I hadn't really did everything that I was supposed to do. I hadn't learned everything I was supposed to learn. So the grind, one thing about being on the sales floor is a consistent grind. Mm-hmm. So that grit to stay on the floor, I think that's kind of what helped me make my decision at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Going into the GM position was gonna pretty much, it's a completely different focus. So I wanted to learn everything that I could possibly learn before actually taking that leap.
Yeah.
And now, the years coming up, that may be something that's in the future.
Okay, I got you. And all that was pre-pandemic. That was before you became the top writer in the company.
Yes.
Okay. So going back to your first day, I tend to believe that most people remember their first day with a new company. And do you remember your first official day with Broad River? And if so, what do you remember about that day?
I mean, so my first day, it's like I had two first days. Because I remember my first day walking in as an AcceptanceNOW rep, and I remember my first day coming in, with my Ashley shirt on. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was different. When I walked through the side door, I wasn't going to the back of the desk. I was going to the GRL. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I remember taking my first opportunity on the floor.
Really?
I do. So, I mean, my first greet, it was an older couple that came through the door. I know nothing about furniture. They're looking for a brand new living room set. They just closed on a home. Mm-hmm. So I navigated through the store with them, and I'm just really, going off the fly. Like, if they answer a question, I answer to the best of my ability. Mm-hmm. But one thing I never hesitated to do was say, hey, I'm new, so, just, work with me. So I did that. And then my first sale was like $2,500, but wow. It let me know that I could do this.
Not only do you remember your first day, you actually remember your first guest, your first opportunity. That's awesome.
See him right now.
Yeah. And you closed them. So you were 1 for 1. That's awesome. That's amazing. So let me ask you this. Who were some of the memorable rock stars that you worked with back at the U? I've heard about this all-star team at the U.
Man, it was definitely an all-star team. So, first things first, Lisa Griffin, man, she was like a mother to the store. Mm-hmm. Richard Peterson. I mean, him. Big ticket. He was a GOAT himself, And then Chris Berrier, that's where I got a lot of my grit from. Dwayne Baker, Kerwin Edwards, and then Mike, Rick, all those guys, But one thing about university, those guys there, they didn't hesitate to help you. They take you in, and it's just very family oriented. So that was one of the things that really let me know this was the right decision. This is where I'm supposed to be.
That's a powerhouse team, man. Golly,
yes,
that's a moment in time. Sometimes you get a moment in time when you just got tremendous talent all in a collection at once. And all of you have gone on to continue to prosper and thrive in new things. Okay, but now you're in Greenville, or Dreamville as we like to call it. And who have been some of the best that you've worked with in Greenville?
So going into Greenville, there was only $1 million writer, which was Suni. Mm-hmm. And man, that was a beast. Mm-hmm. Until this day, I really never seen anybody do it like him. He was dangerous on the sales floor. Yeah, so I have to say Suni. We had Chad Rice. Mm-hmm. We had Jocelyn. Mm-hmm. We have some new people coming up, new $1 million writers. We got Kristen, we got Madison. Mm-hmm. So for that store to, start off with just $1 million writers, and now, it's getting $7 and $8+ million writers. There's definitely some rock stars in there. Yeah,
and we're going to talk about some of the success that store has set some records here over the years. So, when you look around the company, obviously you've been hugely admired for a very long time. And if I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, you used to come in and train our Retail 101 classes on VIP.
Yes, sir.
And so tell us about that experience. Do you enjoy teaching?
Oh, absolutely. And with Retail 101, I mean, that was just an awesome opportunity. I mean, I actually started doing it like my 6th or 7th month.
Really?
Actually working for the river. So to go into a new high class, I mean, you see a lot of ambition. You see people that want it. You see people that's like just eager to know what you're doing to be successful. Mm-hmm. So for me to get the opportunity to give them some of my, some of my skill points of what made me better. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just awesome, and then after those classes, people would actually, come up and say, hey, you mind if we get each other's information, and we would actually talk, So after one class, I had a lady drive down to the university store and actually shadow on the floor, really? We trained together, So yeah, New High 101 was amazing, man. I met a lot of good people in those classes.
And you've always had this skill set with VIP. I mean, I guess it comes from your background at AcceptanceNOW and being comfortable pitching financing or talking about that with the guests. That's one thing where you've always thrived in getting credit apps, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So what's the key to consistent peak level performance?
Focus. And slowing down sometimes. Sometimes you're moving too fast and you can overwhelm yourself. So you just got to slow the pace down a little bit and focus on what's in front of you. And I think that'll get you to where you're trying to be. And ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and then set goals. And set goals that you can actually accomplish, Don't overstretch it. Some people want to throw that big goal out there, and chase it down, but you got to crawl before you walk.
Yeah, there's so much magic in proper goal setting and effective goal setting. And you were like an instant $1 million memory maker, if I recall correctly. I mean, you've been 5-time $1 million memory. Is there a year that you didn't hit it?
No, I've hit it every year.
Every year, okay.
Every year.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's going to continue.
Absolutely.
So the whole mystique about commission pay, that's never been a problem. It's actually been an advantage.
Right.
Yeah, awesome.
It has.
The Greenville remodel. So we remodeled our Greenville store in 2018, and I think it was our second one. We did a really painful one in Pineville, and then maybe not quite as painful, but still somewhat painful. What was that experience like going through a store during a remodel?
Listen, we had plastic coming from the ceiling. It was really the mask before the mask. Yeah. It was dust flying in. So, I mean, it was an opportunity to really see how you can perform, outside the regular standards. Mm-hmm. So, hey, I mean, we sold sofas even though we didn't have half a recliner working, So, I mean, it was definitely challenging, but we pushed through. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the things that made us strong. Even when the pandemic came, it's like we were prepping before everything got here. So we've already been through this, So we went through the remodel. We had some record-breaking months during the remodel. That was actually some of our best times, yeah. So I enjoyed it.
Well, then, so we did the grand reopening, I believe, in late 18, November or December. And then 2019, oh my goodness, that store following the remodel just really soared and set some records and really you guys became, I don't know, like this close-knit, unstoppable force or family. So what was 2019 like following the remodel?
Our mattress gallery was beautiful. The store was beautiful. So it gives you something to talk about when the guest is coming through the door.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks different in here. Yeah, absolutely. We've expanded the store, So, hey, we no longer have the service counter at the back of the store. It's now at the front. Everything feels personable. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it brought everybody together because, I mean, we've been through the remodel. Mm-hmm. So, hey, now we have this nice, beautiful store. So it's easy selling furniture now. And
did it make a big difference with the guests, that investment?
Yes, it made a huge difference actually, because one thing about Greenville, you get a lot of people they've been there throughout the years, so they actually went through the change with us.
Yeah.
So when they come in now, they're like, "Wow, this is amazing."
And the lighting was tremendous. It used to be really dark, and the lighting was vibrant.
Right.
And so I mentioned this earlier. You've set some incredible credit app and sales records along the way. What are some that you recall or that you're most proud of?
Well, I would say with VIP being in the Hall of Fame all time leading, that's been
Let's say you're the all time company leader in credit apps and
yes,
VIP.
Sir.
That's amazing.
So like that's a big accomplishment to me. So I mean, I look back at it and then I got to look at the people around me that pushed me to actually get there. So without Chris making jokes about me, running a family, doing this, that, and the third, I mean, I probably wouldn't be there. So. Yeah. you know, I feed off of those guys' energy. So, I mean, that's really what, you know, helped me to, you know, be this dominant in VIP. It's the people around me.
And so 2019, I believe that was probably your best year up until that point, following the remodel. 2020 comes, you took some time off in January 2020, and then the pandemic hits. You talked about taking some time off in April to furlough. You reconnected with your family. And then you had a 300K month in May when you came back. And then you went on, I think, to write over 1.6 and have your best year ever in 2020 in a shortened, abbreviated pandemic year. You know, so where to next? Like, you've continued to grow, and like, what's the next challenge for you?
I mean, hey, $2 million. You know, I hadn't hit that milestone yet, so I'm shooting for it.
Is that your goal for this year?
That's my goal for this year.
I can't
Absolutely.
Wait. I can't wait to see.
Got some work to do on the back half.
Yeah, it was. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to watch it. So why do you believe you've achieved the results that you have?
Well, I got a good support team. You know, my family supports me, my wife, my girls, my mom, you know, even my friends outside of work.
They're cheering you on?
Oh, they're cheering me on, you know.
You share your sales stats with them?
Of course, of course. I mean, the funny thing about it, one of my best friend, Quentin, his brother, he came to me one day. He was like, man, you need to be in sales. I said, man, I'll never do sales.
Really?
Yeah, to look back at that and then see where I am today, I mean, I just got a great support team.
What do you love about sales?
The interaction, you know, with the different personalities. You know, I get to meet a ton of different people. Mm-hmm. So that lets me know that I'm flexible as an individual because I can adapt, you know, to pretty much any guest that walks in the store. Yeah,
I think that's really critical. Adapt and connect with them,
yes.
and appreciate the diversity of the different guests.
Right.
What do you like our associate, consultant, professional, expert? I know you want to be at the top, and you are. Do you like that stratification? Does that work for us? This kind of the career pathing we have on the sales floor?
Oh, absolutely. The reason why is because when you start as an HFA, you're always thinking, how can I get to HFC? Mm-hmm. How can I get to HFP? And the funny thing about it, you know, I was able to actually, you know, I started as HFC, so I skipped the P and went to E.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, like it lets you know, if you put in the work, hey, I may not even be a C or a P next year.
That's like if you're going for the major leagues, you're in AA, you skip AAA and go straight to the big show.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, let's talk about maybe some of your key memories. Our organizational purpose is furnishing life's best memories. And so I want to go into some of your best memories here at the River. Ashley domination in Tampa in 2017. Do you remember when we took 40 of us down to Tampa for a few days for the Tony Robbins event at Ashley and at Ashley Domination? And how impactful was that trip for you, and what do you remember about it?
So that was my first time flying.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I actually gained my wings, you know, on that trip. So, I mean, it was from the start, you know, it was already like, man, yo, we're doing this. So to actually get there, you know, see Tony Robbins, I mean, it was like amazing, you know. And one of the things that I still do today is, you know, I figure out how to budget and how to save money, because that's one of the things they taught us there, you know how you're managing your time. Mm-hmm. So being around everybody that we actually brought up, and then actually going through that for those days, so those were some long days. Yeah, you know, we learned a lot, you know. So it just put me in a position to let me know, hey, you can do this. You can do anything.
I think they kept us in that conference center till like 10:30 at night and had not fed us yet.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Now, I think that was purposeful to test our grit.
Right.
Can you believe that's been 5 years? Time flies. Man.
Flies.
That was 5 years.
I feel like it was last year.
I know. So the Leadership Summit in August 2018, when we brought in Inky Johnson and a few select sales managers, high performers, you being one of them, and unveiled our purpose statement. Do you remember that event?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you remember about that experience?
First time meeting Inky, man, the first thing I think I heard him say was, I'm a sniper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like and what he meant by it is like whenever he get in the room, you know, he looks around, you know, and if there's weak links there, he knows, you know. So the type of energy that he brought into the building that day was, I mean, it was crazy. I was fired up for about 3 days after. Yeah,
that lunch with Inky before the event was really special, and that whole day and event was special. And then the following year, we had our Purpose Summit, Purpose 828. Were you able to attend that one?
Oh, absolutely. I was there.
Yeah, and so what do you think about that day?
I mean, it was very impactful. You know, it really helped me dial in, you know, to figure out, you know, what's my purpose? You know, what's my why? You know, so I got a lot of great nuggets from Purpose 828, you know, and hopefully we can get some more of those pretty soon.
We hear that a lot. We got to. Okay, so then the gala in January 2020, celebrating, we talked about this phenomenal year that the Dreamville Drive had, and you guys were in 2019, and so we're celebrating those 2019 achievements. And I think the Greenville table or the Dreamville table was on fire that night. Y'all were in the front. Y'all were having a lot of fun. Like, what was that event like for you?
I mean, it was very inspiring. The reason why is because a lot of the people that were able to attend from my store, not all of them were $1 million writers, but they were sleep assassins. But they got to experience something to show like, wow, I got to get here next year as a $1 million writer.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was just a lot of energy in the building that night.
You guys caused that to happen.
Oh yeah. We were pumped up. We were glad to be there, you know, but the energy around us was amazing as well. And great food. I mean, and it was just it was a great time.
I can't wait to get back to those events again.
You and me both.
We got to make sure that the 2022 celebration in early 2023 is the biggest and best we've ever had. Okay, key people. You've had some interesting leaders and fellow memory makers over the years. Who are some of the personalities that really stand out to you?
Michael Childers, Heather Greenwood, Chris Wright, that guy right there, he's special. You know, and
what's special about Chris Wright?
Well, for one, he knows how to connect, and then that's very important, you know, and he understands the importance of, you know, work-life balance. So he knows how to talk to you. So working with Chris in this short span of time, you know, I've learned a lot about him, and man, he pushes you to be great. And if you're slacking at all, I mean, he's in your face, or if not, he's in your phone. The text is coming through. So yeah, he's very direct. I like it.
That's great. And who inspires you from your colleagues? Like who you work with? Where do you draw inspiration from, or from whom?
Well, from a lot of my mentors, you know, like Dwayne, you know, like Leah, you know, like Frank, you know, like Kim.
Yeah.
You know, like one thing about this company, you got people they'll pick up the phone and they'll call you just to check in on you. It's not always about numbers.
You get a lot of calls from folks in other cities and other stores?
Yeah, absolutely.
Checking in on you? That's great. And so you just got a new GM in Greenville, Jeff Willis. Yeah. What's it like thus far working with him?
I mean, he came right in and it was like he'd been there for 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, he's full of energy, you know, and he doesn't play around. So, I mean, that's something that we need. So I feel like he's the Phil Jackson, you know, for Dreamville Drive. I feel like he's going to come in and really set the tone. So
the Zen Master?
Oh, yeah.
The Tasmanian Zen Master?
That's it.
I love it. Hey, you talked about, you know, the resiliency you guys gained. You said the plastic coming down during the remodel was the mask before the mask. How difficult was it to connect with guests while you're wearing a mask in the store and throughout the pandemic?
For me, it was easy.
Really?
Yeah, the reason why is because they had a mask on too. So now it's, you know, it's a level ground, you know, so I can't read you and you can't read me. So it's personality we're about to pick up on.
We've had Joseph Alcantara and others, and they've said they had to learn how to smile through their eyes. Did you have to do the same thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You use your eyes and you use your voice.
There you go. Self-discovery. Let's switch gears just a bit.
Okay.
Since you've been a memory maker here at the River, what is something that you've learned about yourself or about what you've been able to accomplish that has surprised even you?
There's no limit to what you can do. You know, if you focus and you dial in and you got a goal set, you can hit it. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, I keep going back to the pandemic. That year just taught me a lot. You know, if you can make it through that, you can make it through anything because we didn't know what was coming next. Sometimes
we have to look at adversity and not say it's happening to us, but it's happening for us.
Right.
Yeah. Are events happening to us or are they happening for us and preparing us for something? That's the right perspective and mindset to have. Well, did you always expect to achieve this level of success with Broad River?
So I told you, whenever, the first day I spoke with Christian and I told him I wanted to be a top writer. I definitely had the goal that I know I would be like this far in. Absolutely not. But I'm just so glad that it all came together for me.
So what do you think differentiates your level of performance from others in retail sales?
So what I would say is, and the reason I'm going to word it like this is because Chris Berry, he said it once, if you want to be successful in this business, you got to become a thief and you got to be willing to steal knowledge from anyone. And that's one of the things that I do. You know, if I see somebody that's good in sleep, I'm calling them. You know, let me find out what they're doing. What are they doing in VIP? You know, so I feel like my peers, I feel like from learning from them, that's what helps me become who I am. So
So, and I'm sure people are calling you to be a thief and get your nuggets.
Absolutely.
So on sleep, give me something you've stolen that's now part of like your repertoire.
Have you ever experienced 0G, being gamble?
Yeah.
You know, like that's something there, you know. With Dwayne, one thing he always did was he'll go up to the guests and he likes to reposition the pillow to let them know, hey, well, let me reposition this. Let me actually teach you how to lay down. You know, so at that point, the guest is like, wow, he really knows what he's talking about. He's showing them how to properly roll over in bed and things like that.
That's great.
Yeah, I picked that up and I use it.
Love it. All right, I want to get to know you a little bit better. Let's say you're at the tail end of your career. You're sitting on your front porch playing with your kids or your grandkids at that point, and you're drinking some sweet tea or lemonade or whatever your beverage of choice is, and you've hung up your retail cleats, and you're talking about the good old days. You got the visual?
I got the visual.
Okay, great. And people are going to talk about you and describe you. And if they can only use 3 words to talk about Jamar Wray, what 3 words do you want them to use?
Humble, motivated, and belief.
Belief, humble, motivated, and belief. Got it. I feel like I know you a little bit better because of that. And motivated, you've always been a motivated individual, and you've always had this ability to motivate other people just by your voice and when they hear you speak and they feel your passion. Do you remember that time it was in Fort Mill when you basically gave a speech to talk about greatness and legacy that brought the house down?
Absolutely.
When was that?
That was actually in 2017. I want to say that was my first dance.
Yeah, I think they said we're going to church.
That was my first dance.
That was pretty powerful. All right, you've talked about your family a lot. You know, I know that it always takes a village to achieve phenomenal success. Who are some of the unsung heroes, colleagues of your world, and what do they do to help you?
Well, again, you know, my daughters learn a lot from those girls, and the reason why, they don't stop at no. They're gonna ask me continuously, and I use that at work. You know, so when I'm asking a question, I may have to ask it 4 or 5 different ways. You know, but I learned it from my girls. So them,
persistence from the girls.
Absolutely. You know, and then I'll tie back into Lisa Griffin. Mm-hmm. Lisa Griffin, she taught me, hey, listen, you know, it's never downtime. You can always find something to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I have to say God, you know, because without him, I wouldn't be where I am and in this position. So I thank him. And then, I mean, I think my friends and family, you know, and then you guys provide a lot for us, and I respect that.
Well, appreciate that. And it's great to have a support system, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, our word of the year in 2022 is thrive. What does it mean for you to thrive?
To go far and beyond, you know, like it's no stopping it, you know. So when I think of thrive, sometimes, I mean, it makes me want to eat a brick. You know, that's how much, you know, it just gets me fired up. It gets me amped up, you know. And there's a guy back in Shelby, North Carolina. He actually made a song called Thrive. Oh, really? Yeah, and I listen to this song a lot, you know. So with that being our word of the year, you know, and I'm listening to this song, it's like everything played together. So I know it's something great, something real big is going to happen this year.
All right, you got to share that song with me, and we'll put it in the show notes.
I'll have to do that.
All right. What advice would you offer up to a fellow memory maker to help them want to eat a brick and to help them thrive, him or her thrive this year?
Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get somebody that's going to push you and not just say, hey, you know, good job, or you're doing good at this and you're doing good at that. You need somebody that's going to critique you and tell you what you're not doing good at.
Well, how does someone just get a mentor? Do they go to their boss, their manager? Like, how would you recommend, or a parent or an uncle? Like, how do you get a mentor?
So it's always somebody that you look up to. So sometimes you just have to have that conversation with them and say, hey, you know, this is what I'm trying to do. Do you have any words of advice? So you don't just go out and pick up a mentor. You know, you have to actually, you know, you got to grow that relationship, and you may have mentors that don't even know that they're your mentors. Yeah.
Well, I think you'll find if you ask someone to mentor you, they'll probably say yes. People honestly want to help other people. Yeah, at least I feel that way. If someone asks me for help, I really want to help them. And I think a lot of people are like that. And I know you're like that with how giving you are to help people learn about VIP and right. to teach and to train. And so advice. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Sometimes just say okay.
Really? What do you say? Expand on that a little bit.
So, as you know, like, I'm a talker, and I used to be a challenging individual. Like, anything you say, I have something to say behind it. You know, I'm going to challenge you. So, I mean, I was in middle school, and my teacher at the time, Titus Hopper, he was like, listen, man, you'll be great in life. He said, you'll do great things, but one thing I need you to learn to do is just say okay sometimes and just think about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I took that advice, you know, so it's worked out for me.
Well, I think being coachable at any level, it can serve you well, because sometimes people aren't trying to tell you something to criticize you, but to help you. You know, maybe they see something that we all have blind spots, and we need others, like you talked about, mentors, to help us isolate and identify those blind spots so we can improve upon them. So I think that's great advice. So what advice would you give to a new hire starting on the sales floor today?
Hey, when you come in, slow down. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And listen, I mean, just go for it. I mean, the guest is going to know you're new. So, hey, don't be uncomfortable. Like, it happens one day at a time. So just learn something new every day.
Okay. And what do you see or identify, or what do you believe are the critical qualities or characteristics that most contribute to success on the sales floor?
I say goal setting.
Really?
Yeah, if you set goals and you have something that you're actually chasing, I mean, that's going to get you where you need to be. That's going to make the metrics and everything else fall into place.
I like what Michael Hyatt says about like goal setting. He says, and having a vision for your life or for where you're going. He says, nobody ever drifts to a destination they would have chosen. So if you don't have a destination you're going to, you're just going to drift, and you're not going to get to where you ultimately would have thought you wanted to go. So we got to know where we're going, and sometimes that goal or that top of the mountain can be a great place to kind of know where you're going, and keeps us on track. Because we, as human beings, oftentimes we can fall off track.
Oh yeah, you can.
Got to remind ourselves. Okay, so you've been with us for several years now, and if you could go back to your first day, what would you tell younger Jamar about what life is going to be like at the river?
Man, I say, you know, Jamar, you know, buckle your seatbelts, man. It's going to be a fast ride.
I get that a lot, man. I guess that's a good thing, but, you know, be fast. But it's under control, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, you know. But it's happening fast, like you say. It feels like we were in Tampa last year.
That's right. That's a good point. Yeah, time compresses. Culture. Yeah, obviously, we're biased because it's our baby, but we believe the culture at the river is unique and really special. What is your favorite thing about our culture here at the river? And in your opinion, what is it that makes our culture special?
It's family. You know, it's when work doesn't feel like work. You know, you come in and you just feel like you're at home. You know, so that's one thing that the river offers. You know, I hadn't had that in previous companies.
Oh, wow.
You know, so to come in and, you know, the CEOs know you on a first name basis. You know, when people walk through the door, they're not saying, hey, what's his name? You know, like, hey, Jamar, how you doing? You know, so that's culture. You know, when you come in and you can feel it. You can feel it when you walk in the building, and it just makes people want to be there. So
that's good.
That's major key.
Yes, you can find encouragement and people who want you to succeed and to do well. It's not cutthroat. We actually want everyone to succeed and thrive. So what is one thing about Broad River that you think would surprise others from the outside looking in? Maybe a misperception or something.
If you're going through something and you're down at the moment, you have a company that's going to stand behind you and actually support you through that situation.
Really? So you think that that's something that people wouldn't necessarily expect about us?
Oh, absolutely. They wouldn't.
Okay.
You have to be here to know it.
Okay. Gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, I get used to it. I get numb to some things like that. I just think that other people would be like that. But I appreciate you saying that. So what is something that about you that would surprise your fellow memory makers?
I'm a comedian.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to have fun. If you hang with me outside of work, I mean, it's going to be a bunch of laughs going on. I'd
like to work a shift with you because I'm sure you're cutting up at work too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What do you like to do for fun outside of work?
Cornhole.
Really?
That's my new thing. You know, Cornhole Mondays. You know.
Are you really good at it?
I'm pretty good. Okay. I'm the champion at the company. Me and Zach Wisnick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well,
I'll have to get in there and see what I can mix it up with you guys a little bit. All right. If you could change one thing about the company with the wave of your magic wand, what would it be?
I probably dig into a little bit of work-life balance, you know, which you're already working on.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that I would tap in, you know, kind of how can you balance doing both? You know, you want to be a superstar here, but how can you be a superstar at home too and then blend the both? Yeah,
I think that's going to be a really long-term thing for us to focus on. I don't think that's like you put one policy in place and you're done with it. I think I think the world has changed and And they say like hustle culture has gone away. It's okay to hustle or to hustle for a season, but really we got to make sure that we can allow for balance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because when you look back at it, sometimes you got some people like, man, they're extremely good at what they do, and then they'll feel like, man, I got to find something else because I've worked the last 7 4th of Julys. Well, why would you have to leave a company that you love when you can develop some balance and maybe do a little bit of both? So yeah, I think that's something awesome.
Yeah, I agree, and that's something we got to take under our hats and figure out what to do there. Okay, let's say that it's my time to retire, and I'm going to give you the keys to the company. You've done such a great job, and you're the new president and CEO of Broad River Retail, and today's your first day on the new job and in this new role. What's your first order of business?
Proper preparation. I'm going to go back and watch film. I have to see everything you did. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to study it, and then I'm going to critique it and see what I can, add a little twist to it.
I'm sure you can make it a lot. I'm sure you can make it a lot better. But I'll be on speed dial for you if you ever want to. If you got some questions for it.
Oh yeah,
you would do great. I love that proper preparation. That's a great answer. I love that. Mentorship is so important, and you talked about that earlier. Who else who you haven't mentioned do you get where you find or receive your mentorship?
James Patterson, my uncle.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's he's strict on me, so he's one, he don't bite his tongue,
Really?
If it's something that he needs to say, he'll say it. And I mean, it's a lot of others that I probably didn't name, but like I say, I like to learn from everybody.
I think the important thing there is you need someone in your life who's going to love you and tell you the truth, no matter what. It sounds like that's what he does for you.
Oh yeah,
because he wants the best for you, and he probably sees the potential you have. And sometimes we all need that truth to come at us. I mean, I know sometimes I don't want to hear what my mom has to say, but I better listen to her.
Oh yeah, and that's another one too. My mother.
Of course, I'm glad I mentioned that because you want to get your mom.
She supported me.
Yeah,
she supported me through some tough situations.
Yeah.
And one thing about her, she's if she ever caught me with my head down, she say, "Listen, never have your head down. Always keep your head up. You don't have to hold your head low.
I love that.
No matter the situation, you can make it through it."
I love that advice. That's great. Aren't moms great?
Oh yeah.
Where else do you find your inspiration and motivation?
I listen to a lot of different motivational speakers. Like I was listening to Inky before he came in. I was listening to. I had actually listened to some of the Tony Robbins speeches. Eric, I like to listen to Steve Harvey because he's real down to earth too. So it's just a lot of great speakers. So on my ride in, that's what I'm listening to sometimes. And sometimes I don't even know who's speaking. I'm just listening.
That's great.
You're
just filling your cup, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Final advice to someone who is not a memory maker and is thinking about joining the river. What advice would you offer to that person?
Don't think about it any longer. Just go ahead and do it.
Don't think about it any longer.
You got some great opportunity ahead of you.
Hey, Jamar, thanks so much for coming on board. Thanks for all that you do. I'm super proud of your growth and development, and thanks for making that commute every day and being willing to do it and being such a strong, powerful voice and leader in our organization. Any final words you got?
Listen, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on, and support Stories from the River.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's Jamar Wray, Stories from the River, bringing you fresh new content every Wednesday. Check us out from wherever you're listening today. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon. And thanks so much, Jamar. Appreciate it. It's been fun.